Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Gore Verbinski's A Cure for Wellness. When the trailers dropped for this, I was very intrigued, and it gave me this weird atmospheric sense of like The Shining and this creepy, isolated kind of film, and I got pretty excited about this. I'm not a huge horror fan, and from what this trailer tried to portray, that this was going to be a horror film, and really wasn't. Besides the point, it was more like a thriller, but I really did not like this movie, and I was really disappointed. And I was really disappointed by the fact because this could have been a cool original film, and it had a lot of cool things going for it, but it executed it so poorly, and a lot of that I'm gonna put on Gore Verbinski, and also the writer of this film, Justin Haith. Justin Haith and Gore Verbinski really let me down in terms of this. In terms of the film, this was a 2.5 hour film, and trust me, I don't have anything against films being long. My favorite films are Lord of the Rings and Ben-Hur. So I love big sprawling epics and long films if that's what it needs. There was so much exposition in this and just awkward scenes that just didn't need to happen and could have easily been cut scenes and could have trimmed this down a lot better, which would have helped with the pacing, which is a huge issue in this film. And I'm not saying that it's because like it's gonna sound like I'm trying to be like, oh, this was too slow burning, there needs to be action and stuff. No, if you have a nice slow burning film, that's fantastic, and if you make that work, it's amazing. Here it just felt like you're being dragged along with a bunch of false ending, like false, even like I even made a comment that this felt like it had like 3 different end of the second acts where it's like you have that shift where it's like, oh, your hero's at their lowest. It kept reciprocating things over and over again. It's like, oh my god, just get to the point already. And in terms of, I'm going to take a step back and talk about some of the things that were absolutely amazing about this film, because the visuals in this, the cinematography was done by Bojan Bazelli, and between him and the directing done by Gore Verbinski, this film is gorgeous. I loved the shots in this film, and this was so perfectly shot and edited together, and it looked absolutely amazing, and makes it a little more frustrating that I didn't like this film more because it had so much going for it in terms of that. It was absolutely breathtakingly gorgeous. The thing that really falls here is the writing, which Justin Haith and Gore Verbinski came up with a story, which has a very interesting story and could have been really compelling, but the actual how this plays out is a bunch of nonsensical stuff. You lose some sense of when things are happening with some of the, like, some flashbacks and stuff like that, and it does 2 cardinal sins of a mystery. One, first off, and it's crazy that they're able to do these 2 things at once. It beats you over the head with, hey, this is going to be important. It's like, okay, you could be a little more subtle about it. And then there was the fact that some of the twists made absolutely no logical sense. One of my biggest things that I hate about a film is when it breaks its own logic. This movie broke its own logic. So it's working in this twist came out of nowhere because they didn't make any sense, and then twist came out of somewhere because you saw them coming a mile away. And that's really frustrating. And it made it more frustrating when you're trying to sit through the film and just like, get there already, when you already know. Because the thing is, it's an intriguing mystery, and there's points where it's just like, yes. And I appreciate when a film slowly peels back, but like the exposition in this, it's like right when you need to know this next thing, somebody tells you the next piece of the story, because you hear the story of this character that's significant to the film like 5 different times, and each person who tells it tells you a new part of that story conveniently. And that's just really frustrating. And in terms of the characters, there's nobody really likable in this except for the main girl. And you just feel bad for her because she's stuck in the rest of this crazy crap going on in this film. And Dane DeHaan, I felt like was extremely miscast in this film. He's supposed to play like a very successful businessman who got through with like wily ways, and he just feels kind of creepy. And having been in like business school and stuff, I have a master's in accounting. He just didn't fit the part really well, and then he was extremely unlikable the whole entire 2.5 hours. So you really don't care about him, which is really frustrating. And in terms of the music was actually really awesome by Benjamin Wallfish, except for this one thing that sounded like a little girl saying yeah 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 yeah, and it kept coming up, and I actually laughed during the film, and I don't think that was supposed to happen, which is bad. You shouldn't be laughing at a film that's very serious and like trying to be creepy. I do give it a lot of credit for its atmosphere, and it has some balls to go certain places with some of this stuff in terms of you're looking at a film that takes you places instead of in terms of body horror and will really really test you. And I'm not going to take that away. I'm not taking away that this film's really weird for it from it, because that's one of the things that makes it unique and cool. It's just why the story and the mystery have to be so pedestrian and obnoxiously like hitting you over the head. But in terms of the visuals, the editing, the music, and the atmosphere, this had so many things going for it. It's just that the characters and the story just fell out from the bottom. I have to mention one very uncomfortable part in this film that really stood out to me, and this is within the first like 20 minutes of the film, so I don't feel so bad talking about this since you have 2 hours and almost 10 minutes of other film to watch. There's this really horrendous part of editing that I don't know how this got into this film. When they're sitting in a boardroom, you see scenes of this in the trailer, and this woman turns to Dane DeHaan and says, I'm not going to say the whole line, but it has to do with, have you ever had a black person's private parts in a private part of yours? So trying to allude to, have you ever been to prison? And it cuts to the only African American person in the room with a giant smile on his face. I laughed in the theater because that was so uncomfortable and so misjudged, and just there's so many things misjudged about this film, and it's just upsetting because this film could have been so much better, had so much going for it, but it kind of just all falls apart on itself. And the only reason I'm not giving this a failing grade is because that potential, the visuals, the music, the atmosphere really had things going for it. I'm gonna have to give A Cure for Wellness a D.